Hello, welcome to Ukidz LLC UGears.us. We're back with our series of assembling UGears puzzles. Unfortunately, we've been out for a little bit, and finally, hopefully, we'll have a chance to come back and restart doing them. So I'm gonna start from the back, meaning from the most recent puzzles, and we're gonna go, or mechanical models, and we're gonna go backwards towards the older ones. Today, or I should say yesterday, we received this new cool Wood Dragon. It is a smart model, pretty simple, 141 pieces, only 3.5 boards. Should take us only a few minutes. I want to say maybe like 30-40 minutes to assemble it. So we have this cool nice packaging that you just rip up open, let's see what it consists of. Before we start putting it together, let's go over the opening process and let's see what's inside this puzzle. As I mentioned, we do have 3 boards that we can work with. Also little half boards and some of the pieces that are coming with the board puzzle. There's a little spring. Make sure you don't lose it. Wax. The ball, marble, and a sandpaper. There's nothing else in that bag, so we can toss it to the side. Also a pretty simple step-by-step instructions that we can work with to assemble this model. So the first few pages is just general warnings and kind of like suggestions, and then after that we go into the assembly. There's a few spare parts where you see a plus sign next on the board, next to the part. That means it's an addition. So like right here is an example, is the little couple pieces that are a spare parts. Also there's a helping tool that you can push the parts with out of the board. And then also there's a suggestion to remove any burrs that are left on the gears when you pull it out of the board or push it out of the board. Let's start with the assembly. Put the parts aside and we're ready to go. All right, step number 1. As always, we need to look at, let's see, boards. We have board number 1, 2, and 3. So usually it tells you which board number 1 and what parts and where they located approximately on the board. So we need 2 part number 1s, 1. They're located towards the center of the board. Part number 2. Let's see which is at the, I see 2s right here, top left. We need part number 3 and 4. 3 is towards the left and 4 right at the center here, closer to the mid of the board. If you need a little bit of a force, just kind of like push it back and forth and you get that working. We do need the wax, so it shows that we need to wax the surface here where it goes in and out. Probably I'll wax it on both sides. We need to wax the little tab on both of the number 1 pieces. So let's see, I'm gonna be waxing approximately where it shows on the instructions. Then use part number 4 is gonna go towards the front. Let's see right here. Is there any specific direction? It looks the same. It looks symmetrical. So right into the little tab right here. Part number 3 with the tabs, these little tabs with the slot facing towards the bottom. That goes right at that longer tab here, closer to the fat surface. And then the part number 2 is going to go all the way at the edge of the same tab. Slap it together and then put the other part number 1 in the same direction, facing down, affixing all these 3 parts in a similar fashion. So part number 4, part number 3, and part number 2, just like this. Next step is going to be part number 5, which is on the same board towards the top at the center here. And we need to make sure that UGears is facing down away from you. And then we insert that little sub-assembly into part number 5. All the way in. Make sure all the parts are snapped together nice and firmly. And then we need 2 part number 6s, which also on the same board. Part number 1 is on towards the left and the bottom of the center, and the other one is to the right of the center. So we need 2 of them. There's 2 more at the top of these, so I probably should have taken those out first, but it doesn't matter. And the other day, it's the same part. So one of them goes on the bottom here. Little tabs. And the other one goes on the top with the angular pieces facing down. Sharp angle towards the top. So kind of opposite of each other, bottom and top. Fit it in all completely in just to make sure it snaps. And we have A1 is shown right here at the bottom of page number 6. Go on. Step number 1 on page number 7 is that we need to take that little spring that we had inside the envelope, part number 7, which is also on board number 1. Number 7 is right here towards top left. So I'll take that whole piece out. Little internal piece here. Taking that out. And part number 7, push it out of the board. And we need to wax it up a little bit, that longer piece without any notches or anything. Wax it up, put a spring over it, insert it completely, and then parts number 8 and 9. So 9 as on that little piece that I just took out. Pretty simple. And then let's see, piece number 8. It's going to be right in the middle here, center, a little bit below the middle or center point. So let's see, number 8. So that the little tab goes right through the center of number 8. You put it on, and then number 9 just goes on top of it to lock it in place. Just like that. And you have your piece 8A2. Next step is 2 number 10s. Let's see, they're still on board number 1. Number 10, bottom right. And number 11 would be bottom left. As you can see, there's a spare number 9, just in case if you break the other one when you pull it out. Here we need to wax number 10s, kind of like all these slots on there. Making sure that everything is recording and we're all good. And then that little key, number 11, we need to wax pretty much everywhere where it shows, like a little tab notch here. The long piece. So make sure everything is nice and waxed. Doesn't matter which way you go with number 10. You just insert one into the other. Make sure it goes through the whole of number 11. And we need to make sure that it gets to these little notches right here. So completely in, and rotates a little bit around the little hole of number 11. That would make it piece number A3. Now we go back into A2. That's the little part with the spring. We get number 12, which is on that little sheet or little piece that we pulled out. I can throw the rest of it out. That will go, let's see, so there is a notch and it goes from the bottom. Let me see. Looks like right underneath. Right underneath that notch. Somewhere in that area. And then number 13 on one side. Part number 13 is the little bit to the left of the center line on board number 1. So these little tabs going towards the back, towards part number 8. And let's see, so the upside down, so the little cross is towards the top. Let me see where the parts are going into. So this part number 8 goes right over that tab, and then your part number 12 is gonna have to fit in that little tiny hole right here, the square hole that is on it towards the bottom. So it may be, you may need to move it forward a little bit or backwards to adjust it, and then insert these two little parts. The spring is still there. Let me see, it looks like I need to make sure that the spring is fed over the little 2 notches that are on the part number 7. So make sure it doesn't come off when you pull on it, and it still stays there. So there's like 2 little notches. Make sure it and insert it over those. And let's see, we cover up step number 2. We cover up with part number 13. That is right below the original one on the other side. So make sure the cross is towards the top. Same thing. And we get a little nice sub-assembly here with the spring attached, which will be A4. So a combination of A3, which I forgot to insert. So we can squeeze it in here, make sure the notch towards the bottom. I'm gonna pull a little bit two of these parts apart to make sure I can fit the A3 in there. Let's see if doesn't matter which way the cross is. Looks like it's the same on both ends. So we just need to fiddle that in. And make sure that little tab facing down or notch facing downward. And we fit all these 3 together. So A2, A3 will come together to make that little the little key fits into the piece of part number 7, and then it fits inside these little crosses, just like that. Let me check if the directionality matters. Let's see, big pieces, small pieces. Just to make sure. that does not like it's gonna matter at the end of the day, but we'll check later. I'm just looking at these little tabs, some of them larger, some of them smaller, so they may matter at the end, but we'll check and we can come back to it if they do. So let's move on to page number 8. Step number 1, we're still on board number 1 and now 2. So board number 1, we need 2 pieces number 15. 15 is the top right. That's the first one. 14 are to the right of it. There's 2 15s and 2 16s. So 14 is gonna go out towards the back. And we need to make sure that we'll rotate it correctly. And first 14 is towards the back. And then the second 14 is on board number 2. Actually, 14 is number 1, but the part number 15 is on board number 2. It's towards the bottom to the left of the center line. So we want to make sure that nice surface is looking outward, and we pull number 14 out, and I got 16 snapped out for some reason. Also towards the outside with number 14, and then same thing with the 16. And let's see, there's like a little longer notch on the bottom, so that has to go, or not a bottom, like one of the side has a longer notch, so it has to go towards the bottom. And then we'll do the same thing, we just put it on the opposite end, making sure that longer notch is facing towards the bottom. So if your face is towards the outside, that face, let's say number 15 facing outward, so that's toward the bottom, and similar on the other part, face facing outward. Then your part number 16 with the little longer notch is going to be towards the bottom for the assembly purposes. That little notch towards the bottom, that part number 15 facing to the left. So we have A5, left and right. Put those aside also. Now we're to bottom, step number 1, part number 17. That's a longer piece on board number 2, or largest piece, and 2 parts number 18, which are located on board number 1, which I have here, bottom left, and we have towards the middle on the right hand side. Here's our helping tool. I haven't used it yet, I don't really need it, so we'll see. We'll come back towards that. Let's see, it looks like I missed part number 6. Now we used some of them, so we're gonna come back to that, I guess, a little bit more. So now these 2 little pieces, the little slot that is diagonal, will make it face outwards. And then we put a part number 18 right into the slots. Both slots, I guess. We make sure insert part number A5. So first one that's facing outward with the longer slot or notch towards the bottom. We do not push it in completely just yet. So we push the front piece in there, but we don't push the back pieces just yet. Kind of like insert it into the slot, make sure it doesn't move. The same thing on the other side. Gonna insert the front part, but rear we just kind of like pre-insert it. Let's see, now A4 needs to go in there also. So we insert it in these 2 front slots. Squeeze it in. And let's see, we need to wax and sand a little bit that area. We're supposed to do it probably prior to inserting these bars just to make sure. So I'll sand that area inside, put a little wax on there. And inside, a little bit on the surface, and then A1 would insert right in between. So my assumption is that that little spring goes into the hole right here. And we make it slide as far as possible. The parts, the little tabs that go inside the slot on the A1. And then once we insert it, maybe not all the way just yet, we can lock up. So make sure the slot is in there, and then you can lock up these A5 into place. Make sure you push it on the actual part so you don't break the little long piece here. And we work it a little bit back and forth because we need a little wax here on both sides in the slots. And right here on the surface, just add it a little bit more. Test it out, make sure it works, back and forth, slides nice and smooth. And push it all the way in, make sure the part with the spring number 7, I believe, goes through the little hole in there, and then this little notch locks it in place. All right, so, and then we use a 6, that's the one that we assembled. With the little turn piece towards the back, as always, towards this little piece number 7. We insert it over, and we can also lock it in place into the tabs and holes that are on there. Line it up, slap it into place. Nice and tight. Make sure everything is completely fit, and we're done with page number 9. Moving on to page number 10. So let's see, when we push on this little piece, that slide's supposed to slide out. So as you can see, when I push on here on that little flower, that part snaps out using the spring mechanism. So I need to work it a little bit because it is tight against that surface, but you can still see it's slapping or snapping out a little bit, so sticking out, and then you can pull at it to open it up completely. So, and when you push it back in, locks in place, nice and tight. Here you go. That's the way it's supposed to work, and that's 5 and 6. That's what it's showing you to do. Then we do step number 7 is that we do part number 21 is on board number 2. 2 of them. We're gonna do with the angled pieces towards the center on the right and left. I mean on the left side of the barks, and it's gonna be top and bottom. Make sure it's angled and insert it completely. Same thing on a bottom piece, angled and insert completely on both ends. Then we do step number 8. We turn it around and we do the same thing with part number 21. Make sure that nice surface is facing outward and then angled towards center. Insert it on both ends. fully, and then back part, we need two parts number 6. We're still at board number 1. 6 and 6, and that's the end of board number 1. So we insert the same thing, slant it towards inner surface or center, insert it on both ends. Same thing here. Bottom one, fully in, and we're good to go. Next is step number 9 on page 11. 4 parts number 22, they go in the corners. Parts number 22 are on board number 2, top left. So all 4 of them we can push out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extra pieces we can put aside. And then we need to make sure that the little I guess hooks towards the top, towards these little ones, and then the tabs going towards the bottom. And let's see, the tabs go in the holes on the corners there. So you insert the tab first, and then you insert the hook into the top, kind of snapping it into place on all 4 sides. So the operation is you insert that little tab into the hole, kind of like diagonal it a little bit, press down, so the tab goes inside the hole, and as you're pressing down, press towards the box to insert the little tab or hook into the top surface, and you repeat it 4 times. Nice. And snap it together. I guess you're supposed to snap it at the end, but I did it while I was doing it, so we're good to go with step number 10. Moving on to step number 11. So there's 2 little holes that we need part number 23 and 24. So 23 goes on the left. Let's see, so we'll face diagonal tab towards ourselves. So these 2 holes, part number 23, the other ones on the right is 24. So both of them on the board number 2, part number 24 with UGears facing towards the outside will go into these 2 holes on the right. And then the other part that doesn't have UGears with the little cloud shapes, I guess, they're gonna go on the left. Put it together, and we're done with part number 8. Moving on to page number 12. Step 1 is 25, 26, 27, and 28. We're still on board number 2. So let's see, 25 is gonna be right here, right in the middle. 26 is to the right of the center line, closer to the top. 27 is, let's see, 27 would be kind of missing it right in the middle. And 28 is right below it. So let's see, we're gonna have that little tab facing towards you, the thicker piece away. 26 is kind of like, I'm not even sure how to call the shape, but the rounded surface away from you, I guess, is gonna go into these 2 tabs. 27 is going to be right below it, with the tab in the center going into the hole of part number 26. And don't forget to insert it completely. And then 28 with these two little wings facing towards you, gonna go in the tab of part number 27, just like this. All right, then part number 29 and 30, they're also on the same board. Let's see, they're towards the bottom. 30 is on the right, to the right of the middle or the center line. And 29 would be right here at the top, so there's only one. And we don't need the tool. I was about to use the tool, but I guess we don't. That goes into that little slot of part number 25, kind of centered in it. And then one side's gonna have part number 30 with the tab facing towards you. Careful not to break any pieces, so you need to put it on part number 29 and kind of push part number 29 through that little hole there. And then part number 31 and 32 is going to go on the opposite end. 32 and to the right of the center line, and 31 is going to be his top right corner. So 31 is first, so the hole is gonna go, let me see, not really sure. Need to figure that part out. So this one stays free, so that hole goes, no, not there. I'm trying to figure it out. And that little hole stays for, I guess it's just goes and here. Oh, duh. So there's like a little tab here, so that's where the part number 31 goes. And then it gets covered up with part number 32 on that tab. Just like this. That's we're in finish number 3. On the top, I guess it's a repetition. Step number 3 again. On the bottom of page 12, we need part number 33. It's the little pieces right here. We push it through that little hole of part number 31. Center it. Making sure that everything is still recording and I'm not talking to myself. Gonna center that piece here. And then part number 34 goes on the right hand side. 34 is on the bottom to the right. Covering kind of fits it within itself. You won't be able to fit it on the other side, any other way on the right. And then part number 35 and 36 on the opposite side. 35 is right here at the top right, and 36 bottom left. Hole's gonna go. All right, that one's more or less explanatory. So there's a square hole that goes into here. The little rectangular one goes over this circular hole. And same thing on the other side. And squeeze it in completely. Make sure it sits nice and flush. And then the jaw should move up and down on B1. Hit them like this. Next step is step number, or page number 18, step number 1 on the bottom there. We got only a couple more pages left, so we're good to go. Everything is recording, so just checking in. We're gonna put the dragon on the side, board number 3, parts number 29, 73, and 74. So part number 29 is to the left, pushing it out. 74, a little above the center on the right, and 73 is gonna be on the bottom right. So let's see, 73 with the this little design shown to the right. The word slipped out of my head. 29 goes into that square hole in here. And then 74 with a little circular tap towards the top. We're gonna have the 29 piece going through the center there. Then we part number 75 and 76. 75 is right at the center here. 76 bottom left. So 75 with the spikes, kind of same direction, goes over the top. 76 covers it up. And then 29 again, and 77 on the right hand side. So 29 through the hole, the rectangular hole of part number 75. And 77, kind of a little bit above the center line on the right hand side. It's gonna go over that on the right hand side. With scales, here we go, that's the scales. Remembered it on the right hand side. Moving on to page number 19, step number 4, page number, part number 78 and 79. 78 is gonna be, where's 78? I see 79. Oh, 78 is on board number 4, the little tiny one. Let's see, 78 to the right of the center line. So 78 with the, let's see, spikes continuing. 79 covers it up. 79 at the center to the left. And then step number 5, we need part number 29 again. We don't have it on board number 3 anymore, so going to the board number 4. Part number 29 is to the right, above the center line, to the right, top right corner. Let's see, going through that hole. Part number 80 is on board number 3, top right. Let's see, that's gonna go towards the top now. And then part number 81 and 82. 81's on board number 4. That's right at the center here, that nice little pretty piece. And that's gonna go with these spikes up like this. These spikes here and kind of like going up. And then 82 is gonna cover it, and 82 is on board number 3, top left. And we're gonna cover with the scales facing you. Nice piece B2. Step, page number 20, step 1. We take part number 33, We had one left on that little board that we had leftovers. Take out number 33. We're gonna go in back to B1, insert it through the little hole here, and then part number 83 on the left above the center line to the board number 3. Let's see which way it's gonna go. Away from you, towards the top, kind of like towards inner piece. And then B2 is gonna go into here. Kind of tight. Not sure on what side. Hold on. So if the dragon's facing this way, so it's going towards its head on the left hand side. So the head, if the head is on the right away from you, that's going to be on the left hand side. And then part number 84 is gonna lock it up. And then part number 37, we don't have, right here, top right corner of board number 3. Board number 3 is done. We got only a couple spare pieces on there. Same thing, wax it on the inside. And that's gonna go right here to lock it up in place. So we got nice little dragon here. That's a part B. All right, page number 21, almost done there. Step number 1 is part number 85. We're on board number 4 now. 85 is right here, tucked to the right of the center line. Part number 87, 2 of those. Part number 87 on the bottom right here. 1 and 2. And part number 86, which is on the center right here. To the right or to the left, there's a few of them. So let's see, 86. 85 goes with this little tab here. Away with the tabs towards inside, towards the center, and that's where 87 goes. On one side, and then on the other side, make sure the nails or the facing down. That's a C1. Then we're gonna put it aside. Number C, step number 1 to make C2 is the same thing, 2 87s. 87s right here, bottom right of the board number 4. 88 is to the top left. And then 86 again at the center there. 86, the tabs towards the center. And then 87s on both sides with the claws facing down. Said nails before, but claws, here we go. And that's the C2. Next one is 89 to the right, bottom right. And then we have piece number 90s, bottom right. There's a spare just in case if you break it. I didn't. And then we need to use the ball that we had in the box, in the envelope. We put it inside the part number 89, kind of squeeze it in to make sure it stays there. And then we put part number 89 through this little tab here, also around the ball. Kind of squeeze it over carefully, not to break it, pushing it inside, and center it over just like this. And we got C3. Now C4 piece is going to be 87s again, 2 of them. Bottom left of board number 4. We have a couple spares also just in case. And number 91, bottom a little bit to the right of the center line. And then number 86, another one to the right of the center line. And same thing, 86 with the tabs towards the center. And 87 on the top with the claws facing same direction as the claw on number 91. So let's see, C3, C4, C2, C1. Moving on to page number 22. So C1, we take a dragon, head facing towards you, and that goes on the right hand side of the part right here, on the back, with the claws facing towards you, towards the front. And then C2, the tab here is also facing towards the top of the 3 claws. Then step number 2, we turn it around. C3 is going to go on the top one towards the head. And then C4 towards the back with the claws facing towards the front. Pretty. All right, and then we turn it around and set it up onto the tabs here. I'm not sure if there's a special way, or we just push it in part. Over. Yeah, closest to the little 37s or whatever the parts were. We just insert it into the little surfaces. The body of the dragon. close as possible to the tab. Here we go. So the jaw is open here, the dragon moves, this thing moves, and we got a little compartment in the back. If you need to open it, and the assembly is officially done. So we got a couple spare parts here on board number 4, just in case if you need them. So before calling for the replacement check, make sure you do or do not have the replacement part. As I said, there's a few. Part number 69, 14, 16, 29, 37, 90, 87, 33. A few of them are listed on here. So we're good to go. Pretty much this is the end of the assembly. So we got a little dragon in the box. Looks pretty awesome and pretty cool. If you guys have any questions on the assembly, shoot us email, give us a phone call, send us a message. We will reply. Any replacement parts, anything breaks outside of what you have spares on, you can give us a call. We can either send you a replacement or we can direct you to towards the manufacturer and they'll help you to replace it. And pretty much with any questions or concerns, feel free to contact us. Email is info@ugears.us. Website is ugears.us. We also run ukidstoys.com if you need any other toys for your kids. And we'll see you guys soon. Have a good day.